like I'm pissed off.
Why are you pissed off?
Why do you think I'm pissed off?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's snowing. It is snowing right now. We were just talking about, like in the last episode, about how great the weather's been, how spring is here, and it didn't go into fucking May, but
I know. Though Mother Nature pulled the old flipperoo on us.
I'm pissed. I'm pissed. It's not particularly cold out, so I'm confident it won't like stick around, but I'm still not happy about this.
Yeah, because literally 2 weeks ago, it was snowing.
Then warm.
And now it's snowing again. Yep.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
I hate it. It's like coming down hard too, and it's been going for a bit. Like it's not sticking, but it might start.
Have you looked at the weather forecast at all?
No, I never do that. I'd rather just let it happen to me.
I've seen varying reports from basically what we have now up to like 3 inches tonight.
I will kill myself.
Okay, well, I may be flying solo next episode. We'll see.
That does remind me. This morning I got an email from YouTube.
Okay.
It was I don't remember what the subject line was, but it was like, "Hey, we're just checking in," and then like the body of the email was like, "Someone reported a potential suicidal message in one of your videos. Just checking to make sure you're okay," and then like left a bunch of like links for like help hotlines and whatnot.
Really?
Yeah, and like. Number one, that's awesome on YouTube's part. That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that exists, but I have no idea what it's in reference to.
I mean, you probably just made another joke like that, like, if this happens or doesn't happen, I'm going to kill myself. But
I must have. I don't know. It didn't like leave a link for like what video it was in reference to or what was said or what comment or anything. It just...
I thought for sure you were going to say it had something to do with... the one called professional dick pics, but nope. They were cool with that.
No, it was my own channel.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It wasn't Breakroom Nachos.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. At this point, it would be impossible to tell because, like, you know, if you look through my videos from the past couple years, it might not be that difficult to find the source. But considering it's possibly any of my videos over the past 4.5 years. Or almost 4.5 years. It's like I used to do daily videos. I've got more than 700 videos on my channel. There's no way to know which video it was.
Yeah, that's a lot of content.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this episode 14 now that we're up to?
That's the one.
Hell yeah, bro.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hopefully it's not snowing where you're at.
And if it is, hopefully it doesn't stick, or else Mack might kill himself.
That could happen. Don't report this video because YouTube will check in on me.
What you got going on this week?
Not much. I've been doing more magic card opening on the live streams.
Okay, did you get any good pulls?
I did, actually. I got a couple nice cards. I did one live stream where I just organized my old cards and I had a little bit of a nostalgia boost. I thought I've been thinking for a long time now that I started playing Magic when I started doing camp staff. I may have even mentioned that in a video, or sorry, in one of these previous episodes. But like after looking through my cards, I remembered, I started playing Magic long before I started working at summer camps. I had cards from like when I was a kid that are like super played and like beat to hell.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool finding those again.
Nice.
I just went there and organized a bunch of my cards. I bought a binder so I could put away some of the cooler looking ones, since at this point I'm more of a collector than a player. So I might as well like have them in an easy to access and see area rather than stored away in decks or whatever.
Yeah.
But there is a new set coming out at the end of this week. It's called Strixhaven. That doesn't really matter for the sake of the story, but the point is they have these cards coming out there. They're called Mythical Archive cards. They're like reprints of cards from other sets.
Okay.
From throughout Magic's history. And they did like these really cool art for all the cards. And for me, the fun of collecting a magic cards is seeing like some of the really cool art that comes out of them.
Yeah.
Or finding the rarer ones or like the more expensive ones. Like that's what I enjoy because I'm, again, more of a collector than a player.
Yeah.
And these cards look incredible, but they're doing something really unique with it. They have a really nice like art for each of the cards, but then they also have a Japanese exclusive variant for all of them.
Okay.
With like special like Japanese styled art. So if you buy a collector booster from this new set, there's different kinds of boosters. There's set boosters, draft boosters. Collector boosters are the ones that have like rarer cards, but they also cost more.
Okay.
I have a Kaldheim collector booster, cost $26 for 15 cards.
Okay.
Compared to the normal 5 for a 15 a booster.
Yeah, like baseball cards do the same kind of thing.
Yeah. So if you buy a collector booster from this new set, one of the cards is guaranteed to be one of those Japanese exclusive art cards.
Nice.
Which is great, but I'm going to go out here and buy a bunch of fucking collector boosters because, again, they're expensive and there's like 60 of these cards and they only come in Japanese. There's no translated version of it unless you get the global art version.
Okay.
But if you buy the Japanese set boosters, they are guaranteed to have one mythical archive card, and there's a 50% chance of it being the global or the Japanese theme.
Okay.
So I bought an entire set booster box that is 30 booster packs.
Okay.
And it's just the Japanese version, so I won't even be able to read what's on the card. I fully bought it just so I could get the cool art cards.
Nice.
But I'm super excited for that to come out and to open that on stream because the art looks incredible. They're so cool.
Nice. What did that set you back?
$173.
Wow. Okay. I mean,
they're sold out everywhere. I could have waited until they came back in stock, which they inevitably will do after the release window. But because of this special thing they're doing, they were completely sold out.
Yeah.
So I think the MSRP was around $125 to $150. So I didn't have to pay that much extra. So I was like, this is worth it to have it.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is that like I bought it off of eBay from like a well-reputed seller. So I'm not too worried about the legitimacy of it. But the weird thing is that it is set to deliver on the release day. And I find that hard to believe because they're going to have to ship it out. So that I would assume that means they have it before the release day.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they had like a pre-order and they're just going to change the address to your address and have it directly shipped to you.
Oh, that could be interesting. I was thinking they might be like a shop trying to close out their own pre-sale orders.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like I know sometimes with like beer and wine stuff has specific release days and it gets delivered ahead of time, but it can't actually get put out until a certain day. So maybe they'll have the inventory before.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. It's got to be something like that, but I don't know. I like looked at their eBay account because I don't buy stuff off eBay much because there's such a history of scams on that website.
Oh yeah.
So I always make sure that they have like 95% or above ratings, and they had 100%, and they only sold cards. So I have to assume that what they're sending me is legit.
Nice.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to get those, but probably not super worth the amount of money I spent on it.
Probably not, but
you know what? I'm an adult and I have the money, and that's all I need to know.
Right? God, that's great.
Yeah. Anyway, that was an elongated way of saying I'm having a pretty good week. I'm looking forward to getting those booster packs and opening them on stream. It's a lot of fun to open cards on stream. More fun than just doing it for video because I get to talk to chat and get their thoughts on stuff. It's kind of fun.
Nice.
What about you? What you been up to?
I haven't been up to too much, but I'm super pumped. My friend Mike, his wife Jess, they're coming into town this weekend. We're going to the Tigers game on Saturday. Haven't been to a baseball game in like almost 2 years for obvious reasons.
Right.
Just super, super pumped about that.
That's awesome.
So hopefully I'll have some good new Mike stories to add to the collection for the next episode.
Hopefully there's no snow on the ground at the time of that game.
Hopefully. I mean, there was for opening day, so we'll see.
I remember I went to a baseball game once where I was a kid where it just like started raining like crazy.
Yeah, that'll happen.
And it was like early spring, so it was like cold rain.
Mm-hmm.
I think we ended up leaving early because all of us were just freezing our asses off to the point where it's like, I can't even enjoy the baseball anymore.
Yeah.
Baseball is, and I know this is a bit of a hot take for sports fans, but for me, baseball is probably the most fun sport to watch.
I don't know if it's, for me, I don't know if it's the most fun, but I do really enjoy it, and I don't find it at all boring, which is...
That's an absurd concept.
Yeah. Everyone thinks baseball is boring unless you're like a super fan.
It's really not.
I agree.
I think the thing that I enjoy about it the most is that there are those moments of downtime. you don't have to pay like super close. Like it's really fun to go to a baseball game with some friends or something because you don't have to pay super close attention to the game. You can like have your conversations, look over what's going on every now and then like you'll catch the big plays. It's kind of like a casual viewing experience, which I really enjoy.
Yeah. I'll go with that.
It's more open to social interaction as opposed to other sports where you have to be paying attention 100% of the time.
Yeah. No, I get that.
You know what I find? There was this really great video I saw not too long ago. You know how like golf has like big etiquette rules? Like, you know, they don't cheer in golf. They do like the claps, you know?
Right. Yep.
There was some video of like some kid hitting the first ball on like a brand new open golf course, and he got a hole in one.
Okay.
And everybody fucking lost it. They weren't having any of that shit. They were like, no fucking way.
Nice.
It was really cool. I was like, that's cool.
There's
fun.
There's a golf tournament out in, I think it's Arizona. I want to say it's like the Waste Management Open or something like that.
I love the idea that Waste Management is sponsoring a golf tournament.
Yeah, and I think it's just like one specific hole, but they've got it set up with like bars, and people just get like hammered and just yell. So I think they joke around and call it like the Wasted Management Open. But
nice, I like that.
Yeah, like I feel like they need a little bit more of that. Like you don't have to go full on extreme and have that all the time, but
right,
a little bit of that every now and then is all right.
A little bit of fun never hurt anybody.
Right.
I feel like, I don't know. I understand like the aspect of it where it's like you got to respect the sport or respect the players or whatever else. But like sometimes you just got to have some fun, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Every other sport has to deal with getting yelled at. Come on.
I do think people harassing athletes for like fucking up is a really stupid thing to do.
I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie.
It's so fucked. Like people make mistakes and expecting them to be perfect is really obnoxious.
Well, okay. I guess I'll backtrack on that a little bit. I like it when fans do that to the away team because it gives you so much of an advantage. Like if your fans are complete dicks to the away team, it gives your team an advantage playing at home.
Well, I mean that's yes, but I mean like when an individual player like fucks up a play in a game and people just harass them on Twitter for it. Like that's obnoxious. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. I thought you meant like live in person.
No, I mean certainly there's that too, but like anger directed at an individual on the team.
Yeah.
For the way they play or whatever. That's really just it's fucking stupid. Get your shit together, Karen.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah. I agree. Taking it to social media is a little bit extreme.
It's just a shitty thing to do.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm at the baseball game on Saturday and someone from the other team screws up, I'm totally on board with the whole crowd like taunting that person for the rest of the game. You get in their head, then they maybe screw up again. Gives your team a total advantage.
All right. Well, I think that if you met and shook hands with that person, you would feel bad about it.
No, I wouldn't because I don't have any actual ill feelings toward that person, and it ends when the game ends.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it ends for them. Like they take it home. They beat their wife because they feel upset about it. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they also get paid millions of dollars, so that's just part of their job.
Okay, well, all right.
they got to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah, learn how to deal with these nuts.
Speaking of these nuts, there's a company that makes like deli meat and like I don't know, like beef jerky and stuff called Dietz and Watson.
Oh yeah.
And they make little like sausage bites and they call them Dietz nuts.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah, right? Like that's pretty clever.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah. They also have like Dietz nuts merchandise. Might have to snag me a hoodie or something. Oh, I know something I wanted to talk about. I want to tell a story about my friend Steph, who I talked about the last episode.
Yeah.
I want to tell a story about Steph's doormat.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about Justin this time.
I was just about to make that joke.
So long story short, last summer Steph bought a car from a private seller. And with the pandemic and everything going on, like the Secretary of State didn't immediately make you get a license plate for it.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, she had an appointment, and I think she was stuck quarantining because she had been potentially exposed to COVID at the time. So whatever, months and months go by. Well, she lives in a condo, and her condo association president always gives her shit about everything.
Oh, you gotta love people like that.
And like comes over like once a day, or not once a day, I'm sorry, once a week to complain about something. Well, he had her car towed out of her driveway because she didn't have a license plate on it.
Oh, great.
Because that's apparently against like condo rules.
What a nice guy.
Yeah. Well, then she had this whole issue where she couldn't get it out of impound
because it didn't have a license.
Well, it didn't have a license plate. Her title was
the title.
The title was in the glove box because to drive it without a license plate, you had to keep the title with the car.
Right.
So it was this whole thing. She finally ended up getting it back, but she had the best response. She had a custom doormat made up to put in front of her condo that says, "Please tow my car again." So that when he comes over like once a week, he'll see it.
I love it. That's awesome.
Right?
Fuck that guy.
Right? Fuck that guy. Great story. Great job, Steph.
It's annoying. Some annoying shit. You reminded me of some fuckery that was going on with my apartment building the other day.
Okay.
I was hanging out with Sean. We were watching Better Call Saul, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden I started hearing this beeping sound coming from the hallway.
Okay.
And so, it goes on for a little bit. And at first I was ignoring it, but then it like kept going. And I was like, what is that? And Sean goes, I think it might be fire alarm. And I was like, well, if it was a fire alarm, I'd probably hear people like leaving the building, or it would be louder. Like it wasn't that loud.
Okay.
So I just kind of let it keep going for a bit, but it kept bugging me. So finally I got up and I opened the door and I see one of the girls who lives upstairs just like fanning air out of the laundry room.
Out of the laundry room?
Out of the laundry room.
That's odd. Okay.
For whatever reason, like the window in the laundry room was open. For whatever reason, there was a crazy amount of steam in the laundry room. It was like a fucking sauna in there.
Really?
Yeah. So this girl, she had been doing she had been using the dryer, and for whatever reason, this dryer was just pumping out steam like a motherfucker.
Huh.
So I don't know what happened, but like I grabbed a case of Vernors off my fridge and I stuck it in front of the door so it would like have an additional ventilation. But the steam triggered the fire alarm. And it was just, it was so weird. Like, I don't know what would cause it to steam up like that.
I don't know.
And then like, I came out of my apartment to like grab my Vernors a few hours later. And I'm like walking up to the door. I like grab the case and I hear, hello. And I'm like, who's that? And I like turn around and it's this older woman who lives across the hall from me.
Okay.
She's like the door is open. She is on her way out. And like classic old lady style just starts up a conversation with me.
How did that go?
I mean, it was fine. She was nice, but she started like talking about like we had a trash can in the laundry room and for some reason it just fucking disappeared. Okay. She was talking about how she was going to talk to the leasing company about it and try to get us another trash can, and how she was like, we pay so much for this place, it's ridiculous, we can't get a trash can. And I'm sitting there holding my Vernors like I'd really like to go back inside now. I don't know why you're trying to talk to me when you're clearly out of the building, but I guess just classic old lady behavior. But I mean, she was nice, It wasn't like she was stopping me to tell me that my TV was too loud or something like that. But
right.
Because that would have pissed me off. But I just thought it was weird. Like she was on her way out. She had the door open and she decided to stop and talk to me first.
I mean, at least she was nice.
I found it very strange. But, I said in either the last podcast, the podcast before that, whenever, I said I didn't know any of my neighbors. Well, I met two of them. That old lady and the girl whose laundry was steaming everything.
There you go.
Still don't know their names.
It's kind of funny that you had that fire alarm story. Because this was, I mean, it may have even been the same day. This was a couple days ago. I heard what I thought was a smoke alarm going off in the hallway. And I kind of ignored it because
we're very clearly aware of fire safety issues.
Yeah, well, and my building's weird because it didn't really sound like a normal like smoke alarm just going off.
That's what mine was like. It wasn't very quick. It wasn't terribly loud. It wasn't terribly high pitched. Like it didn't sound like a fire alarm to me.
Yeah, and I've had the situation where like the batteries die in a smoke alarm in the building and it just chirps.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe that had just happened again. Well, more of them started going off, and now I'm like, oh God, what's going on? So I open up the door and there's definitely some smoke in the hallway.
Uh-oh.
And you can clearly smell it. And I'm like looking around and like, I don't see anybody else in the hallway. I don't hear any doors open. I go back inside. I'm like, well, I'll wait it out for a minute. See what happens. I'm only a couple feet from the door. I can get myself out. So then I hear some yelling, and it's my neighbor across the hall. Apparently, they were going to tow her car for whatever reason.
Because she didn't have a license plate.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, she needs to get a new doormat. Steph, if you can give me the link for where you got that doormat, I'll pass it along.
She'll appreciate that.
But she was like yelling with like the other neighbors about how her car was going to get towed, and she left grease on the stove. But thankfully, there was no fire. It was just a bunch of smoke. But my favorite part is after all this like had settled down, and she's like told this story to like multiple neighbors at this point, right outside my door. So I'm hearing this same story repeatedly. And she just goes, "Sorry, building."
That was nice.
Yeah.
Got to take care of your building. Let it know you care.
Right. But I don't know. I just thought it was weird that we both had a similar situation happen within like the last week.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the disastrous lost episode of Captain's Kitchen?
I think you told me that you had one, but didn't you like redo it or something?
No.
Oh no, didn't you end up like getting down?
No, don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin it.
Yeah, yes, I do remember you telling me about this.
So Captain's Kitchen fans out there, I think this was last year, right around January or February, I filmed a Captain's Kitchen, or tried to film a Captain's Kitchen that could not have possibly gone worse than it did. I forget, like, what is it, like Murphy's Law? Like everything will go wrong.
Yeah, like if
something can go wrong, it will. That's it.
Yeah,
it was basically that kind of situation. So I was planning to make chicken cordon bleu.
Oh, great dish.
Really good dish, but it's very complex. You know, chicken cordon bleu has like a lot of like things wrapped around each other. It's like contained within a what's the word? Like a breaded fucking dough. I don't know. You have to fry it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of steps involved. So me not being the greatest chef in the world, I've never tried frying anything before. So I spend like maybe 20 minutes working on this chicken cordon bleu. Like you have to like tenderize some chicken, get it nice and flat so that you can like fit some spices inside of it and then like roll it up.
Yeah.
And like the recipe I was using had bacon as well. So you'd like wrap the bacon around that.
Okay.
And then if I remember correctly, you're supposed to like flour it up from there with some extra spices and fry it. I had never fried anything before. So I fill up my pot with some oil and I get it heating up. In the middle of it heating up, my camera dies. Not unusual.
It happens.
What was unusual was that it did not turn back on, which has never happened before.
Okay.
Couldn't get it to turn it on for the life of me. The battery wasn't dead. As far as I could tell, there was no open compartments that automatically shut it down. There was no reason for it to not have been working. The entire time, the oil's heating up.
Okay.
So finally, like, well, I guess this episode's dead. I kind of like, I take down some of my video stuff. I start pushing my table back against the wall, whatever else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I already made this chicken cordon bleu. I might as well finish it and eat it.
Right.
And so this oil is like smoking at this point.
Yeah.
And that's not a red flag indicator to me, apparently, because I take this mass of fat and grease and just dunk it in there.
Oh.
And immediately so much smoke and like burning oil shoots out of this pot.
Oh God.
Like, everywhere. So I'm sitting there like I yank it out, I fucking throw it away, I take the pot and I dump it.
Yeah.
And but all the while, like this smoke is just like collecting. Like it's in my kitchen, it's in the living room, it's everywhere. And I'm like, fuck, this sucks. And I start trying to take down more video stuff, but oh my God, the smoke just overwhelms me. So it's like a half-cooked chicken cordon bleu in my trash, a pot full of boiling oil in my sink, and me literally like crouched down on the floor of my kitchen with tears in my eyes and coughing like crazy because just smoke from burning oil has overwhelmed me.
Just everywhere. Oh man.
It was such a fucking disaster. And the worst part is I didn't even get it on camera because my camera was busted.
That would make a great video if you had been able to get that on camera.
Exactly. If I could at least post the footage, I wouldn't have minded.
Right.
But no, my fucking camera had to break that day. I had to send it into Canon, and it turns out it was like a manufacturer error. They were paying it for free. Camera's good now. But oh my God, it was the worst. I was fucking dying, and it took forever to like get that smoky smell out of my place.
Yeah.
So
oh man,
I haven't tried frying anything since then because I'm afraid the same thing will happen.
Yeah. You can't let that oil get too hot.
Oh, it was such a mess.
Oh man,
Such a waste of a bunch of prep work too. I was getting excited to eat that and everything.
I mean, sometimes kitchen disasters just happen.
Sometimes they do be like that, but God damn it, could I at least have filmed it?
Yeah, you need to try that again.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a redemption episode. I've thought about doing a redemption episode on a couple other recipes that have turned out bad. Like the cinnamon rolls from like the very first Captain's Kitchen and this kitchen, where I didn't know how to use yeast, so they ended up just being hard hockey pucks.
Yeah.
I'd like to try those again because I fucking love cinnamon rolls, and I feel like I could make them really good now.
Hell yeah. I sent a text to our old manager Tom a couple days ago because I noticed that we had at least one listener from Australia.
Yep.
And I said, "Oh, you're probably spreading it around to your family." And he goes, "You guys should do a segment about Vegemite."
What about it? That it's fucking gross?
The only redeeming thing that I can say about Vegemite is that it's not worse than Marmite.
They're both terrible. I don't taste the difference.
Oh, they're both terrible, but God, I had them back to back, and Marmite was so much worse.
I don't know. I've never tasted a difference. I've also not gone out of my way to taste them both at the same time because they're both gross.
If you, for those of you who haven't tried Vegemite, it's kind of like, think of sort of like the texture of like Nutella, but it tastes like soy sauce.
like an incredibly salty soy sauce.
Yeah, but like a paste, like Nutella, and it's brown.
Ugh, it's
gross.
It's horrifying. We used to sell it at World Market, and we had these people who would come to the store, and we'd be out of either Vegemite or Marmite, whichever one they were looking for, and they'd be like, "Oh, I drove across town to get this," and it's like, bro, they sell this shit at Meijer. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
don't get mad at me, you dumb idiot.
Yeah, you can get this stuff everywhere. It's really not, and it's disgusting. But
yeah, it's not that extravagant of a foreign food.
Yeah. Ugh. People, am I right?
People be dumb.
You got some questions for us this week?
I guess I could look. I hadn't considered the possibility of asking questions on this podcast where we frequently do that.
This isn't a question, but we had talked the one episode, I guess it's been a while now, but we were talking about.
So you just asked me if I had a question, and then you brought up your own topic.
I was going to bring up a topic while you're looking because it
takes like 2 seconds, Mike.
Okay, it's a very short topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyway, when Microwave asked us what bagels were like, because bagels don't exist in Germany.
For whatever reason.
And we had said that we would imagine that bagels were either from like Germany or France. I looked it up. They're from Poland.
That makes sense, but why aren't they in Germany then? That's right. Those motherfuckers be close.
Yeah, right. I don't know. That's all I had to say. That's why I was giving you time to look up a good question.
Great. as a content creator, do you feel more compelled to stream/make content when you have at least one consistent viewer? I'm curious to hear if you have a thought on this as a kind of new content creator.
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you have, I mean, obviously I've got some friends who listen every week, and yeah, I mean, I want them to keep listening. I don't want them to just feel obligated and listen because they have to. I want to make it good for those people.
Well, the question is whether or not you feel compelled to make the content, not about whether or not you feel compelled to make it good. Like that's, I do get what you're saying. I'm just curious.
Okay.
Like, do you feel more compelled to like come over and record the podcast rather than like, I don't know, taking a break every now and then specifically because people are listening?
Yeah. I mean, if no one was listening, it would probably be less enjoyable to do. But knowing that people listen and enjoy it, and especially those that listen every week, yeah, it makes it something that is a little more fun.
Yeah, so that's kind of what my answer is. I would say it's not necessarily that I feel compelled to stream or make content because I have a consistent viewer. It's more that I feel much more motivated to when I have at least one consistent viewer.
Yeah.
Making videos, back in the day when I had nobody watching, it was fully myself motivating myself to do it. And considering my videos were getting like less than 10, sometimes less than 5 views per video, like that didn't necessarily demotivate me, but I certainly didn't feel like super compelled to make, I didn't feel super compelled to, what's what I'm looking for? I felt much more okay with taking breaks, I suppose is the way I would put it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I guess it kind of can go both ways because, if you don't have consistent viewers, then you're purely doing it because it's something you want to do.
Exactly. So that's what I was going to say next. Like for me, this does happen from time to time. Like I feel very lucky that despite my ridiculously small following, I have, these viewers who will come into like every single stream, like Scorpion, Microwave, Shotboop, Noah, like all those guys, like they stop in so many of my streams, and then like Kanan stops into my streams a lot. Green stops into my Green is Sean. I don't know if you know that.
Okay.
Comes into my streams all the time. Like I have so many viewers who like watch my streams so frequently that like most of the time when I stream, I can expect that someone will join.
Yeah.
But there are times when like, there'll be a week period or a 2-week period, however long, where like nobody watches. For basically no reason. Like my assumption is always that it's just like bad timing where everybody's busy at once, or maybe they just need a break from me, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
There will sometimes be those times where it's like, I'll go 3 live streams in a row where there was next to no viewers the entire time. And it is extremely demotivating, not because I feel like my content is going down, but just because it is so much more fun to stream when people are actually watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. Like,
so sorry, just to cap off what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I would say like, it's not so much like being compelled because I have one more viewer. It's like, I want to stream much more when I have a consistent viewer.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, doing this, one, I mean, I enjoy it because it gives us a time to hang out and talk and catch up and tell jokes like we used to that we don't get to do anymore.
Yeah.
But for me, it's more fun that people are enjoying it.
Yeah, for sure. So people on my Discord started like making memes out of the stuff we say on the episode.
Oh, hell yeah.
Scorpion posted a really fun one that I sent you. It was after telling my story about how I ordered way too many pies. He sent like a photo. It was like the dog that says "This is fine," that comic.
Yeah,
but like all the fire had the word pie in it. It said wine as well, but I honestly can't remember what that was in reference to.
It was I think because we had told the story about like I think that wine delivery where
right, or those like 30 random cases. Yeah. I loved that. That really gave me a little chuckle. So. Yeah, that kind of thing definitely makes it a lot more fun knowing that people, enjoy what you're doing. It makes you feel it makes it feel that much better to like press start streaming or press start recording on Audition here.
Yeah. Nice. Dope.
Yeah. I had a bit of an experience recently that made me kind of feel a little bittersweet, but it was also just kind of nice.
Okay.
I went out to the store much later than normal for me. Because I go to sleep at 8:00, and I'm a big homebody. So like today, when I left work, I got my groceries and I came home, and I'm not planning to leave for the rest of the day. Once I'm home, I'm usually home. Like I don't want to leave.
Okay.
I was talking about it on stream the other day where I live, I am so close to so much food. Like,
yeah,
I am 2 minutes away from Popeyes and Taco Bell, 3 minutes away from Steak and Shake. There's a Red Robin, McDonald's, all basically within walking distance.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I have ordered food from that Taco Bell because I didn't want to leave the house.
Sometimes you just don't want to leave. I get it.
Right. So I don't frequently leave late at night, but the other night, it was like the day before a day off. I went out at 8:30.
What?
Right. Like way past my bedtime at that point.
Way past. Okay.
And I was in my fucking card mood. I've been thinking about getting into opening Pokemon cards on stream too.
Okay.
So I was just going to see like like Target, they tend to sell Pokemon cards. So I was interested in seeing if they had any. They didn't, but I was kind of like walking from the Target to my car, and I was like, I kind of like stopped for a second. I like looked around and I was like, I haven't been outside this late at night in fucking forever. And it made me realize how much I miss like the feeling of nighttime.
Okay.
And specifically like being out at nighttime, like that kind of like coolness to the air. It's starting to like get darker, but it's not quite night yet.
Yeah.
Like I haven't really experienced that much since I started waking up at 5 a.m. for my job every day.
Yeah.
And it gave me a little bit of a nostalgia hit because I started thinking about like when I would go out late at night with my camp staff friends, or I'd hang out with my friends late at night. And it was like, man, I fucking miss going out at night.
Yeah. The other thing too, nighttime, especially in the summer here, it has a different smell.
It really does.
Like I can't describe it. I don't know what it is.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
I love being out at night, and I definitely miss that. Back when I worked at summer camp, like, it's a very taxing job. You get up at 7 a.m. You usually work until 10:00 at night. Mm-hmm. If you were a director like I was, sometimes you'd be working till like 3 a.m.
Oh,
it's killer on your sleep schedule and your physical exhaustion limits. Like,
yeah,
and you get paid next to nothing for doing it. So no one works at camp staff unless they enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But despite the fact that we were all running on basically next to no sleep, we also we're running on basically no breaks or basically no downtime. Because when you're camp staff, you're basically you're always on.
Yeah.
You get like an hour here and there, but you're always on.
Yeah.
So even though we would work our asses off, at 10 o'clock when our night was done, we'd frequently go out and hit the town, but not in the nightclub way. Just, we'd go to Steak and Shake or Walmart.
Right.
And
right.
And we'd fuck around, and I miss doing that with my friends.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. There's something great about that time of night. There's like a magic in the air.
You should get yourself back into that at some point. Not regularly, just every now and then.
You're right. I probably should, especially on those nights when I don't have to work the next morning. I usually end up staying up a bit later anyway, so I might as well just go out.
Do it.
Do some fucking shit. Go beat up a homeless person or something.
What?
Just as an example. I'm not saying that's what I do.
Something you could.
Something I could do. An option.
Yeah.
Okay. You have a lot of options.
And I mean, I know from my experience, beating up homeless people is way more fun at night than it is during the day.
Totally. You can't see the fear on their face as well. You're less likely to get caught.
Right. They might be sleeping. Just
roll up, capture my surprise.
Oh, what are we doing with our lives?
Telling a very funny podcast.
I love it.
Making a very funny podcast. That does remind me of, I don't remember, I'm sure I told you about this. Remember that there was this one time I strolled up at World Market. It was like a 5 a.m. shift, and it was just me and one other person. And so I walked up to the door to unlock it like you do. And there was just some guy fucking sleeping right outside the door.
Oh yeah. Yep.
He was just sprawled out asleep. And that wasn't a regular occurrence at our store.
No, especially not up front.
No.
I do have a couple situations with homeless people sleeping at World Market.
Oh, really? I hadn't seen it before then.
Yeah, so there was one time, I don't know if you remember, but on like the side of the building there was like a bike rack.
Yeah.
There were just like some arches. Mm-hmm. And one day there was a blanket draped over the top, making it into a tent.
Oh, sick. Bro made a blanket for it.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
Yeah.
And the other time, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was the middle of winter. Jeff and Darius and I were there to do a truck. And, it had just snowed a ton that night. Mm-hmm. And, we had the high-low outside.
That's a forklift for anyone who doesn't know it.
Oh, yeah.
Name.
Yeah.
I didn't know that name until I started working there.
Yeah. High-lows and forklifts. Same thing. But we had these big pieces of cardboard that used to come in the truck that would separate deliveries from one store to the next. And we would keep the extras outside. And when we made a bale, we would, we'd throw them in the bottom so that it made a nice, even surface. Well, we get out there to do the truck and we notice there's these giant pieces of cardboard that are, like the size of a refrigerator leaning up against all sides of the high-low.
Okay.
We're like, that's odd.
Okay.
Oh, I guess someone's playing a joke. So, sure enough, Jeff pulls one down, and there was a lady sleeping in the seat on the high-low.
Shit, dude.
And
she turned the forklift into a damn tent.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and then just like took off.
At least she didn't try to be like, "No, this is my house now."
Thank God. And now that we're talking about this, it brings me to a story that I've wanted to tell for a long time.
Hang on, let me finish mine real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So the guy was asleep outside the front door, and so we like quietly walked up and like unlocked the door and like made our way inside. He didn't wake up, and we disabled the security and got back to work, or started getting to work. And like a few hours later, when the store opened, the guy fucking walked inside and asked for a job. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, all of our applications are online. And he was like, oh, well, I don't have access to a computer. And I'm like, I'm sorry. We just legitimately don't have physical applications.
Yeah, that wasn't
me being a dick.
No, that was
because like
100%.
I fully support like him looking for a job. I would have given him a physical application if he wanted one.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a piece of shit.
Right.
But I felt bad for him, but I was like, yeah, we don't have physical applications. You're going to have to like go to the library and pick up a computer or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just interesting that he like came inside after I had walked over his sleeping place and asked for a job.
Yeah.
And now you.
So this may have been around the same time that that the guy had made the tent, the blanket fort out of the bike rack. Mm-hmm. But our good buddy Andre,
love Andre.
He was taking out the trash because he would do that every day.
I know you can tell. I know what story you're going to tell.
Yeah, this one's great. Next to the dumpster, someone had just taken a shit. And he said that it didn't look like it came from a dog. He was like, this absolutely 100% looked like human feces.
Yep.
And he was trying to tell the story. Our friend Andre is from Brazil.
Yep.
And I mean, he speaks very good English, but sometimes like slang doesn't
totally get it.
Yeah.
That's totally valid. Slang is weird.
So he asked me, he goes, how would you say that? Someone pooped? And I was like, yeah, someone pooped next to the dumpster. And he's like, how would you say it, but if you wanted to be more offensive? And I was like, well you would say they took a shit. And he's like, another thing Andre would always do, whenever you teach him something new, he would immediately try to use it in a sentence.
Yep.
And so he goes, who took the fucking shit? Who was the fucking shitter? And that just like rolled into this whole joke that like still continues on between him and I today.
Well, everybody was using it after that.
Yeah. So we would just call someone who screwed anything up. We would call him a fucking shitter.
We're shortening it to FS.
FS, yeah.
What's up, FS?
Oh my God. He he would joke around that whoever wasn't wearing socks that day was
I forgot about this part.
Was the fucking shitter because they had to wipe somehow. And he would always like try to call out Crystal for whatever reason. I think just because it's really funny. He would just be like, Crystal, are you using socks today? I don't know. Maybe you were the FS.
Oh my God, I love Andre. You remember that time him and I were you and me, we were gonna do some overnights together.
Oh yeah.
And this was before Andre really knew me that well.
Uh-huh.
And so he was trying to figure out like what he could start a conversation about with me, which is very nice, very friendly thing to do.
Right.
And he I don't remember what he said exactly. Do you remember what he asked you if he could ask me?
Oh gosh. No.
I'm blanking on like the exact phrasing of it, but he was like, should I ask him if his girlfriend has big titties?
Do you think Mac would get offended if I ask him if his girlfriend had big titties?
And he decided not to because he didn't know me that well. Right. But little did he know, if he'd asked me that, I would have found that fucking hilarious. Right? I would have been all about that. But oh my God, I love Andre.
Oh God. Speaking of Andre and titties, one day he comes up to me and he goes, "What does it mean when someone says, 'calm your tits down'?" I was like, it just means to calm down. It's fine. I was like, it's really funny, but it just means to calm down. Calm your tits down?
Andre, such a good guy.
Oh, love that dude.
Have you ever had farofa?
Falafel? No, farofa. Yeah,
falafel?
Yeah, falafel.
I've had falafel.
Oh, he ripped me for that so much. There's a Brazilian dish called farofa, which it's basically just like I don't know, seasoned breadcrumbs.
Little balls.
Yeah, they're not even little balls. It's basically just breadcrumbs that you like dip meat into, or you mix in with some beans. But he asked me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, falafel." And he's like, "Oh, no, you're fucking American. You can't understand me." And I was like, "Okay, go ask somebody else." And he asked like 3 more people, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, I love falafel,"
including me.
Yeah. So then he finally had to concede that it sounded a lot like falafel. That dude.
I mean, if he had like less of an accent, I might not have thought he meant falafel, but it's specifically because like Andre had a pretty strong accent that I was like, oh, he's trying to say falafel.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Farofa.
Oh, poor Andre. He's trying his best.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude's doing pretty well. I think he got his green card.
I still can't believe. So Andre left World Market briefly before me to work at another location of the store that I work at.
Yeah.
And so when I started working at the job that I have now, I would occasionally have to run to the other store. And every time I did, I'd stop in and say hi to him.
Yeah.
And so one of our pastry chefs at one point was transferring to that other store. And I told her, say hi to Andre. He's a super nice guy. Tell him Max says hello.
Yeah.
So she leaves. And maybe a few weeks go by and I find out from you that Andre fucking moved to Indianapolis.
Yeah. Yep.
So I must look like a fucking idiot because she got there and there was no one named Andre working there.
Right? At least it wasn't too long after he moved. Like, it's not awkward to the point where they were like, we've never heard of this guy.
Who the fuck is Andre?
Who the fuck is Andre? Yeah. At least they probably all still knew who he was, but
he motherfucker just pieced the hell out.
Yeah, didn't even bother saying anything. Thanks a lot, Andre.
Oh, that dude.
That FS. The OG FS.
The OG FS.
So I talk quite a bit about this Snapchat group that I have. And I have previously told a story about everyone in that group except for one person. And that's this girl, Jana. And I feel like I owe it to her to tell some sort of Jana story. There are two good ones. My absolute favorite one is the story of Jana and the groundhog.
That's a great movie name.
Right? I would go see that for sure.
Or a band name.
Jana and the Groundhog.
Like, 2-person band.
like Gem and the Holograms. Maybe the Groundhog is just the generic name for the entire band.
Yeah.
So anyway, this was last summer. She's a teacher. I don't know if she was doing some sort of like daycare over the summer or something, but she was looking after small children throughout the day.
Ugh.
And they were playing out in the playground, and there was a groundhog that was like in like the playground area, and it just kept like running around. It had a hole. It would, do groundhog things. And she was getting really bored and like didn't want to deal with taking care of these children. And I
wouldn't either.
She sends a snap video. She has a megaphone and she yells to the children. And the first snap is, "I will give $20 to whoever can catch the groundhog."
Terrible idea.
It must be alive. And then the next snap is my favorite snap I've ever received. It's her again on the megaphone going, "I repeat, the groundhog must be alive."
Don't you have little demons running? Well, I guess they are.
Yeah, and
they all are.
Yeah, and so they like tried running after this groundhog, and then it like chased it back down into its hole.
Did you when you were a kid, like did your school have like a recess playground?
Oh yeah.
Well, this is a weird question, but like what were the playground instruments made out of? Metal?
Yeah, mostly metal.
When I was a kid, my elementary school had wooden playground instruments.
I've seen playgrounds like that,
but they were like old as shit.
Just covered in splinter. Like,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Splinters waiting to happen.
So a few years, I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade when this happened. A few years like after I'd been going there, they had to like rebuild. They had to build like an entire new playground and like proper like metal and plastic playground equipment because kids kept getting splinters and kept getting hurt and like kept falling on the wood chips and getting injuries.
Oh God. That's such a bad idea, just building it out of wood.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't even tear it down either. So like when the school hours weren't, and like the new one in my opinion wasn't as good. So when my parents would like bring me down to the school just after hours, I'd go hang out on that equipment again. My elementary school used to have this gigantic track field right in like its backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it had like a walkway built around the entire thing. So my dad used to go rollerblading down there. So I would go fuck around on the playground equipment.
Yeah. Nice.
Just random little nostalgia thing.
I got a story about weird crap that kids do, and it ties myself and Jana into this. I have a second story that I guess I did have more to talk about her than I thought. This was just last week. So she's a school teacher. And she said, I take one afternoon off and one of the kids eats a gummy worm that's been sitting on the windowsill for the last 3 weeks that the class has been calling the class pet. And I think that's fucking great. And it ties me in because I was significantly older than these children.
Yeah, I would think so.
Well, not now. But this is when I lived in my college freshman dorm. I left. I did this on purpose. It was like a windowsill / radiator, and I left a grape there.
So it could turn into a raisin?
Until it turned into a raisin and then ate it.
Oh, gross. Oh, nasty.
Yeah. It worked.
Oh, man. That's fucking gross.
Yeah, it kind of is, but what are you going to do?
On the topic of like not being able to leave for an extended period of time, I've been working where I work now for a little while now. I have not yet taken more than 2 days off in any given time.
Okay.
And all of the times that I've taken 2 days off, it was to do 24-hour live streams.
Okay.
So the last time I did a 24-hour live stream, my boss was going to cover, my shifts, doing my buying and receiving and all that.
Yeah.
So, I take the 2 days off, do 24-hour live stream, and I come back in and I look up on the top shelf in the freezer and there's a box missing.
Okay.
Which, that's not terribly unusual. I work with a lot of boxes. I go through a lot of boxes.
Sure. Things happen.
This box was special to me. Okay. There is a certain vendor I order from. They sell us cookies. They get delivered on Fridays, but you can order individual packs of cookies. Since they're not big sellers, I just order like between 8 and 10 per flavor.
Okay.
They just come loose. They don't give me boxes for them.
Okay.
So I had this box. It was a box that used to have like marshmallows in it from the grocery department. It was perfect. You could fit like 4 across and then like 2 on the sides perfectly of those cookies. It was the perfect size.
Yeah.
I had held on to that box for a very long time because it fit those cookies perfectly.
Okay.
While I was gone, we ran out of those cookies and he just fucking threw the box away.
Oh my God.
And so I complained about it to my coworker. I was like, I can't believe you would just fucking throw away that box. That box was perfect for those cookies and I can't get another one because we don't sell those marshmallows anymore.
Oh, damn.
And so it's like, so I complained about it for like 2 days because he was gone both those days.
Yeah.
And then like he comes in and like, it's like I know what time he's going to come in, and as soon as he comes in, I like drop what I'm doing and I like go up to the office to talk to him. And so I open the door, and like Megan, the girl I had been complaining to, was sitting next to him, and I just go, "Where's my box?" And he looks at me. She had like forewarned him about this, and he was like, "I threw it away." And I was like, "Why did you do that?"
Oh.
And he goes, "Because it reminded me of our old receiver who sucked."
Okay.
The guy before me had a similar box for those same cookies. He had thrown that same box away months before, and I had gotten a new one. It had my handwriting on it and everything. And I was like, no, that wasn't his box. That was my box. And you threw it away.
Damn, bro.
I refuse to let it go because my new box doesn't fit them as well. And I'm pissed about it. I miss that box. I want my fucking box back, Danny.
Yeah, fucking Danny.
You threw away my box. It wasn't the old guy's box. It was my box.
Yeah. Damn, that box just reminded him so much of the old guy that he just had to throw it away.
I'm so pissed. It's so much more difficult to store those motherfuckers now.
Oh, God, that reminds me of anytime I would take any extended period of time off, Carissa would fuck some shit up while I was gone.
Well, yeah, so that was I forgot to mention that part. So I've been joking since then that like I can't take time off because Danny's gonna throw away my new box that I don't like as much, but I don't want it thrown away.
Right. Oh God. Like I remember there were times where like Carissa would like suggest something and I'd be like, no, it's a horrible idea. We shouldn't do that. And she'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. And then the next time I was gone for more than a day at a time, I'd come back and she would have just fucking done it anyway. Oh God, it killed me. She did it one time when I was running like the beer and wine department, and I had a case stack of like 3 or 4 cases stacked, 3 or 4 cases high. And she was like, oh, I wanted to get that stack out of the way. So she took all of the bottles out, put them on like a temporary shelving that we had on the sales floor, and threw the boxes away.
God damn it.
And then like a week later, we had to take that temporary fixture down. And she's like, she just loads them all up into a shopping cart and was like, hey, before
you take care of these?
Yeah, before you leave, you have to take care of these.
Oh my God.
Oh.
That was one really frustrating aspect of working for World
Carissa?
Market. Well, Carissa, certainly. But World Market specifically, like the company I work for now, like, you know, we're a bakery, and you know, bakeries are baked goods are really big for holidays, obviously.
Yeah.
So we get a ton of extra stock for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, like springtime, Easter. We get all kinds of like holiday deliveries.
Yeah.
The thing that they do that like virtually every retail place does that World Market did not do was that when the holiday ends, they come up with some kind of plan to get rid of the remaining inventory.
Right.
Which is like how you should handle it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Put it on sale, like allow us to keep it on the shelf, whatever else, to make sure that it gets gone.
Right.
World Market would do this fucking obnoxious thing. They would like have a set where they'd have the entire center of the floor covered in like rugs and like furniture that we don't normally sell.
Yep.
Like all this shit. And then like when the time came for that schematic to close down, they'd put it on sale for like a week.
Yep.
And then they just assumed that everything sold and they wouldn't have anything else to say about it.
Right.
We sold this fucking awful chair. It was you'll remember the name of this, the Whitmore rattan chair.
Oh, yeah,
Tim's rocking chair.
Yeah, Tim's rocking chair.
And like no one fucking bought them. They sent us like 5 of them. No one bought them. They didn't buy a single fucking one.
Right.
And so the schematic ended, and like I got new schematics for my department, the furniture department, and lo and behold, they didn't have anywhere for me to put this fucking chair.
Yeah.
And it's like, I still have 5 of these. I still have to sell these somewhere. Where the fuck do you expect me to put these?
And the thing that you didn't mention, most of our furniture required assembly.
Yeah, that one did not.
That one did not. So it was a full-size chair that came in a cardboard box.
They took up so much space, and we didn't sell a single fucking one.
No, those things took up so much stockroom space for a long time.
Even when they went on clearance sale, like 60% off, nobody bought them.
Yeah.
And then they just went off clearance sale, and World Market had no clue what to do with them. The great thing too was like that chair was like post Jeff era, but our old district manager Jeff, this was fucking awesome. Everything when he came into the store had to be like exactly as the schematic said it was. Couldn't have pieces out of place. Couldn't have pieces in place. Couldn't have extra pieces.
Right. Which, in theory,
shouldn't have to.
Well, in theory, it makes perfect sense. Everything should be
should have a place and be in it.
Yep, exactly.
But in the case of those like extra pieces that World Market refused to account for because they just assumed all of them sold, even if it was ugly as sin, which was not an uncommon occurrence.
Right.
Like we would like have it added onto an extra spot where it's not supposed to be because we still got to sell it.
Yeah.
And then Jeff would be like, oh, you can't have that there. That's not part of the schematic.
Right.
And you look at him and be like, where should I put it? And he'd be like, I don't know. That's you guys can problem solve that. Figure out where you should put it. Just not here.
Okay, guys, you figure it out.
It was the fucking worst. Like, come on, dude. Who am I supposed to go to if you don't have answers to my problems?
Right.
Oh, shit makes me so mad. So I'm glad that my new company, and even though I'm not dealing with massive pieces of furniture, they always have exit strategies for shit like that.
Yeah.
Or like when something gets discontinued, they always have like something to do about it, or they'll assume that you're still going to have it and include it on their schematics for a bit.
Yeah.
A World Market would do this fucking awesome thing where they'd release a brand new gourmet schematic, and like that day would have discontinued a product and would have no place to put it.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I have 4 cases of this shit. Where do you want me to put it?
Right. And it's like, it wouldn't go on clearance immediately.
Nope.
So we couldn't put it in that section. It wouldn't even be on sale. And if it was on sale, it would just go back up to regular price.
Yeah.
That was like
as soon as the new schematic came out.
That was the worst part, is when we had like those specialty limited time items. They'd put them on sale, like you said, for like a week to try to get rid of them.
And then when it didn't work, they would have no plan for it.
No, and they would go back up to full price. Not even maintain that.
No, they wouldn't stay
sale
on a clearance price.
No. God.
It's fucking worst.
Yeah.
God, no wonder that company's dying.
Yeah. Oh,
I wonder how they're doing since the buyout.
I don't know. Great products, but
yeah. The problem is that like World Market doesn't deliver on like the whole cost plus model.
Right.
You know, like the full name of the store is Cost Plus World Market, which when the store first opened, it was because everything they sold there was cost, like at cost plus 10%.
Yep.
That's how they sold it. The products they sold there like were nowhere near that anymore. I remember once like they for some summer floor plan, they sent us this fucking dresser. What was it, like $1,300?
Oh my God. Yeah.
No one bought it, obviously. Who needs a $1,300 dresser? And then like we could go into the system and like see what like the cost price of it was, like how much it cost for the company to buy it. And it was still like $400.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of that, I think this was the exact same time. Do you remember when Brianna and I rain checked that like $1,000 Buddha statue?
So number one, I had to deal with that for so long.
Well, I did too. It was still there when I was there.
But I didn't know you guys had done that until like 2 years later.
We did it with $1,000 and like the one that was like I think $500 or $600.
They bought like a fucking Buddha bust and then like a straight up entire like body of a Buddha, like human size, like lying on its side, made of bronze or some shit.
Yeah, it came shipped in like a wooden crate.
If you imagine like the Fragile box from A Christmas Story.
Yep. Or if you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, the crate at the end of the film that the Ark is in, that they like store in a warehouse.
That's what it came inside of. Like this thing looked like it actually like came from India, sculpted by Buddhist monks or something like that.
Yeah.
And we had nowhere to fucking put this thing.
No. And we had to make up a customer name to rain check it because you know, there wasn't a real customer. So for any of you that watch Friends, we used Phoebe's alias Regina Phalange.
That's good.
Yeah.
Phalange is a bone in the finger.
Right. Your phalanges.
Yeah. For anyone who maybe hasn't worked at retail, when you, at least the way that it worked at our store, when you would place a rain check, it would like automatically allocate like something to be shipped to the store for a customer. It'd be like placing a special order for a customer.
Yeah.
You remember around the holidays, we had this mincemeat that people loved to buy.
Yes.
Like it would go out of stock so fast and every year.
Yeah.
So they would send us like 2 or 3 cases of this. So one year, our good friend Bradley like placed a fake rain check for like 7 or 8 cases of it.
Uh-huh.
And they sent us an email like, you're going to get what we allocate to you. Don't place fake rain checks to get it.
Well, do you remember when they filled one of the rain checks? I think he may have done more than one.
Oh, no. Sorry. I'm sorry. So the mincemeat did get sent. It was during the outdoor sale.
Yes.
They would never send us enough umbrella stands.
Yes.
So he placed a rain check for umbrella stands, and that's when they emailed us and they were like, don't do this. We're not sending you more.
The funny thing about the mincemeat, though, like he had rain checked so much of it that we just had a ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
And although that stuff sold really quickly, we weren't selling it that quick. Tom kept joking around that Bradley was going to have to buy all the rest of it that was left over. But I'm pretty sure we did end up like selling all of it.
Oh, totally. That shit sold like crazy. We wouldn't have it from like more than like 2 or 3 weeks into the holiday season.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make it to Christmas when people would actually be using it.
Yeah.
By the way, in case anybody doesn't know, mincemeat does not contain meat.
No, it's like fruit and spices.
It looks disgusting. I don't want a mincemeat pie. I've never tried one. I don't really want one.
I tried one. They're okay. They're not great. I would never want to eat it or make it, but
it's like an English thing, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Cause like Walker's.
Yeah.
Walker's does the mincemeat.
Yeah.
Mincemeat pies.
Mincemeat pies. Yeah. No, and Shapu, let me know if you eat mincemeat pies and if you like them.
Are those our UK listeners?
Yeah, they're both dirty Brits.
Oh, damn. I didn't go there. So.
I don't feel bad calling them that because they make fun of American stuff all the time. So, you know, it's a back and forth.
Oh, that's fine.
There is a lot to make fun of. But if you're going to make fun of me, I'll make fun of you back.
Yeah. Get a toothbrush.
That's such an easy target, but I love those jokes.
I don't know. It was just like the very first thing that came to mind.
The British look memes never get old. It's never stops being funny.
Right.
It's so mean, but it's so funny.
Right? Oh.
Fucking Austin Powers looking ass.
Right. Oh man.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on another episode. Might be a solo episode next week with Mike. I don't know. We'll see how long this snow continues. It is starting to pile up.
Yeah, it's there's a little accumulation on the ground, so
we'll see.
I'll see you next week.
Mack might.
Take care.